Hello and welcome to the show tonight. I am glad to have Mr. Will Rowe with us here tonight. Hey, Will, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Just a little hot here in South Atlanta, but we're doing okay here.
Oh yeah,
Um,
it's hot over here too. I mean, we made it into the mid 90s today. I think it was 95, and we're
mhm.
looking to hit 100 as we head into next week. So it's gonna get
Yeah,
hotter.
same here. I think Sunday's supposed to be close to 100 here. So, well,
Oh
heat
yeah.
index anyway. So, well, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started in the weather, and all that good stuff.
Well, most people have an event that got them interested in the weather, but me, just kind of watching TV with my nana whenever I was a little kid, about 3 years old, on the way to preschool. I mean, when I got back from preschool, the news would be on because it'd be 12 o'clock. So just watching it, I just had a particular interest in the weather. So never fell out of love with it. Started trying to impersonate the weather people on the news. Like I would have my nana hold a road map and I would like point to different things on the road map and acting like I was a TV weather person, and then
Awesome,
kind of just started studying it myself and never fell out of love with it. And now here I am.
awesome. And so you went to a conference last week. Tell us a little bit about that. Anything new you learned and all that.
I did. So I went to the 51st American Meteorological Society broadcast conference and just talked a little bit about how to communicate things on social media, some new stuff that's going on in the weather service and when it will be pushed out, just some tips for broadcast meteorologists and some new products that are going on in the weather world. So learned a good bit of stuff and excited to see some of these products that they're talking about rolling out. So I'm just waiting on those to roll out here soon. But otherwise, it was a good time meeting a bunch of
Yeah.
familiar faces: Jim Cantori, Jen Carfagno, and
Yes.
Greg Postel from the Weather Channel, and
Hmm.
Adam Clark here in Columbia. He was over at the conference as
Awesome.
well. All the people from Myrtle Beach, and yeah, just meeting some familiar faces and seeing them again was good to catch up.
Awesome. And we do have a question here. What's your favorite part about your job?
That's a tough one because
Yeah.
I love the weather. I really, I
Hmm.
really, really love the weather. But there's a certain part about communicating the message to the public that I just particularly enjoy. I won't say that I am social media like attention crazy or anything like that, but
Hmm.
I like to inform everyone and see the positive responses and the appreciation in what I do. So that
Right.
really just keeps me going. So I would say that that's my favorite part of the job.
Gotcha. And somebody asks, is it going to be a hot summer since we had non-existent winter?
Well, and it is going to be hot, and I know
Hmm.
we're about to go through our, I guess you can consider it our second heat wave. I know we made it into the upper 90s a few weeks ago, so you can consider that a mini heat wave, but we're about to go through a stretch of upper 90s for about a week, maybe 2 weeks. I know we've already been feeling it, taking a little
Hmm.
bit of a dip now, but it's only going to get hotter here soon. So we'll
Yeah.
see how it continues to go. I know the ensemble models are hinting towards a cooler start to July, maybe temperatures in
Mm.
the 80s. So that would be nice. But
Nice. Hmm.
weather always changes. So we will see
Yeah.
how that actually plays out.
And I like to see your weather and our weather, and it's kind of almost the same, just a
Yeah.
little bit. And
Yes.
but y'all are closer to the ocean, so y'all get a little bit more rain than we do. So somebody else asks, what's your favorite type of weather?
Oh, severe weather. I love severe weather. Severe
Yes.
weather is my absolute favorite. I
Hmm.
won't say I like the destruction and to see what it does
Right.
to people's homes and stuff, but I just find it fascinating. I want to actually research it more. So that's
Hmm.
really what I want to get into. I want to get into severe, kind of content doing what I'm doing with the communication and everything with the green screen. You see it behind me. I'm kind of
Yes.
content doing that right now, but down the
Hmm.
line, I think I'm interested in doing severe weather research.
Mm, gotcha. Are you gonna you're going to school now for it, or what's your plans on that?
I am starting my first year. I'll be online at Mississippi State for operational meteorology. And at the
Okay.
same time, I kind of made an agreement between both schools. I will also be attending the University of South Carolina for GIS. So basically a
Okay.
mapping, and that will be
Okay.
focused for climatology and meteorology. So yeah.
Gotcha. Awesome. Uh, what can you do when there is weather change?
Could you be a little bit more specific about that?
Yeah, just yeah.
Not really sure what that's asking. So
Hmm. So with my website and all that I have here in Georgia, I would like to see if you would like to do a weather blog with us continuously, like once a month, or give us a monthly update for Georgia and South Carolina. If some of your people join on my page, that would be great. And
Sure,
because that's what, yeah, give us a little bit update on the hurricane now that well, you just said it wasn't a hurricane, but give us a little bit update on Alberta. In Alberta.
Well, Alberta is actually gone. It had moved on shore in Mexico, I think 2 or 3 days ago, but it has since dissipated, still bringing some rain and stuff to Mexico, but it is no longer Alberto. Now I'm really just watching this one low that is off of our coast. It's actually off the coast of Georgia, so just to our south, but it's going to be bringing us some more moisture. I know dew points from the 80s because of the tropical moisture, and we've also seen some showers across the PD and low country, and that has actually started to move into the Midlands. I was watching the radar because I was expecting us to see a few showers, but it looks like it has kind of dissipated since. So still seeing some showers along the coastal areas, and I think that will continue into this weekend as that low cuts up the coast. So just watching some clouds, some moisture, and some showers through this weekend, and we'll really see the heat ramp up after that, and the lingering humidity from that tropical, whatever you want to call it, tropical low. That's what we call it. That lingering humidity will make it feel even warmer, with the heat indices possibly getting up to 110. So just watching that.
Beware of that.
And we also have one more low that is down in the Gulf of Mexico. It has a 60% chance of development. No, they dropped it to 50. Has a 50% chance of developing right in the same area as Alberto was in. So we'll see what that does, but it looks like it'll impact the same areas. And they definitely don't need that now because they saw a lot of rain and a lot of flash flooding. So they definitely don't need that extra rain, but it looks like they will get some extra rain heading into this week.
Awesome. Let's see here. Want to know when you will start doing your videos again?
I plan on doing it real soon. You see, I painted the walls and everything. Yes. I just put that up last night. So I will be doing my updates for Norcast, the weekend job that I do up in New Jersey. And I will continue to straighten up in here just a little bit over the weekend while I get that done. Then I hope to get back to doing videos next week.
Awesome. And not a weather question, but curious what your favorite food is.
That's a good question. I eat a lot of chicken. I'll say chicken.
Okay. All right. And then somebody was saying it's hot in Phoenix. So.
Oh, yeah. I saw temperatures were like 115 in Phoenix today, but at least you don't have the humidity to deal with. I know
that's what I was going to say. Can you explain that a little bit? Like, we have the humidity here. They say 115 there is different from here.
Yeah, because it's kind of a dry heat there, but I mean, if it's 115, it's hot, whether you have humidity or not. Hot is hot. But over here where we're kind of tropically influenced, or we have those higher dew points, it kind of makes it feel hotter because we sweat to cool off. But whenever there's high humidity, there's already a bunch of moisture around your body. So whenever you sweat, the moisture kind of gets trapped closer to your body. So you're not allowed to cool off as much whenever it's humid. So that's kind of why we have to watch those high dew points, because of the moisture in the air and us not being able to sweat and cool off. So that's the best way to explain it there. I'm sure there's a better way, but that's the best I could come up with.
Do you have any perspectives on, are you going to work for a news station or weather station here soon, or how do you feel about that?
I mean, we'll see where it takes me. I haven't really decided yet. I think I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing now. I mean, still got some sponsorships and stuff on my page, and I'm also doing that job up in New Jersey. So kind of content where I am right now, but that's definitely something that I will look into in the future. So.
Right. So they have, like, I guess you can call yourself a private weatherman then, instead of a public one. Is that?
You know, I run a private thing, but I'm still a public figure, basically. I'm getting the message out to everyone in South Carolina and even beyond. I have followers outside of South Carolina, but of course, the majority of them are in South Carolina because that's the area that I cover. So, and some people have asked me to expand into other areas like Western North Carolina or Northern Georgia. And I mean, that's something that I am looking at. I'm considering it, but I'm a one-man show here, so
Exactly.
kind of have to get everything straightened out with what I'm doing first before I even consider that. But that's definitely not out of the question.
Okay, awesome. And out of all the trips you made to meet meteorologists, what's your favorite?
You're making me pick favorites here.
I know, right?
I guess I would have to say, I guess visiting Nor'easter Nick up in New Jersey, that was probably my favorite. First, I visited a bunch of different states that I had never been to, so that was pretty cool to see. Went to Philadelphia for the first time. That was pretty cool to see all the historical stuff that we went and visited while we were up there, and it also led me to getting my first TV job. So, I mean, I guess I'd have to pick that one.
Yeah, awesome. Do you have a, I guess I want to say idol meteorologist that you look up to?
Jim Gandy was always my idol meteorologist, and getting to know him better over the past couple of months, seeing him at conferences, like I saw him last week at the AMS conference, and I saw him at another one a couple of months back. But getting to know him was actually really cool because I always loved him whenever I was little. So I guess I'd have to pick Jim Gandy.
Yeah, one of my favorites right now. Well, not now. He's retired now. Was Ken Cook out of Fox 5.
Oh yeah, he was good. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when the storms started heating up, he'll roll up the sleeves and started working there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, is there anything else you'd like to let us know while we see if anybody else? If y'all have any questions, go ahead and put them back in the comments, and we'll put them up here for Will to answer.
I don't think there's anything else to talk about in the long term. Of course, we're talking about an active tropical season. The forecast is suggesting 19 to 25 named storms, which is the most aggressive forecast that the National Hurricane Center or Colorado State has ever put out. So that's definitely something that we are laser focused on, especially with the incoming La Nina. I mean, we're basically seeing La Nina conditions right now, even though we're still kind of in the neutral phase, but you can see the clear signs of the La Nina getting started. And with the warm sea surface temperatures, we've seen sea surface temperatures down in the Gulf around 93 degrees, which is not normal even for the peak of hurricane season down the road in August and September. I mean, that's not normal. That is very hot. So all these factors coming together is just definitely concerning, and we have to keep a very close eye on it. But severe weather, we know that that's been going on across the country over the past several months. It's kind of died down, luckily, in the past few weeks, but we had several tornado outbreaks across the area, not here, but across the Central Plains, rather. So it's good to see them getting a break from that, but it definitely seems that we could get a second round of severe weather, especially heading into the fall months. I mean, during the summer, we see some severe weather, but it's definitely not as common because the pattern doesn't really favor it. We're not really getting those strong blasts of cold air. We're kind of getting a bunch of ridges across the area right now. That's what's keeping us so hot. Like we had that high pressure stationed just off to our north across the northeast. So that kind of trapped the heat at the surface. So that's why we were seeing temperatures in the hundreds actually up in New England and towards Washington, D.C., because that heat was being trapped at the surface because high pressure forces air to the surface while low pressure kind of makes it rise. That's how we get the thunderstorms. But we're looking at another ridge, and it looks like it is kind of going to retrograde back across the Central Plains. So that's why we're going to see the warm temperatures, and that's why they're going to see the warm temperatures across the Central Plains. So, I mean, we're just watching these ridges build across the area, bring us heat wave after heat wave, basically. So, but that's pretty much all the news I had to share right now going on in the weather world. I'm just looking at the maps over here to see if I have anything else to share, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Through tropics, severe weather, heat.
How do you predict, like, say, a month's worth of weather? I know we have the Farmer's Almanac. Do y'all go by that in predicting your weather?
We don't know where the information from the Farmer's Almanac comes from. I mean, we're all curious within the weather world because I mean, I've asked that question to so many people, and they're like, I don't know where that comes from. None of us do. So we don't really, I mean, it's cool to look at and see what they say, but I mean, it's not something that we go by any means. We look at the ensemble models, and basically you have an ensemble and you have a deterministic model. The deterministic model tries to tell you what's going to happen and exactly when it's going to happen. But the ensemble models, they don't do that. They kind of tell you what the pattern favors and how likely it is to happen. So in the longer term, so past about probably 5 days for me. I mean, I know some people look at the deterministics a little bit more, up to like 7 to 10 days, but I've been trained by everyone that I've met with to look at ensembles past 5 days to kind of get an idea of what's going on. But of course, it doesn't pin down what's going to happen. So we look at the ensembles to kind of determine what's going on. And some of them go out to 60 days, but a lot of them go out 45. But it still gives us a good idea of what to expect and what to look for. But obviously weather changes every day. So of course it's not going to tell you what's going to happen, but gives us an idea of what to look for.
And when did hurricane season start? Did it just in summer or?
So hurricane season in the Eastern Pacific starts May 15th, but over here in the Atlantic, it started June 1st. And there's been a debate going on about that, whether they should bring it back to May 15th. And honestly, it's looking likely that they will roll it back to May 15th. That's been in the discussion for years, but it's probably not going to happen within the next few years. It'll start June 1st, but that's definitely something that's not out of the question over the next few years.
And who determines all that, like to bring back the dates and all that? Who determines that?
It's kind of a combination between NOAA, so the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and I think the WMO, the World Meteorological Organization. I think they have a little bit of say within that too, because they are the ones that come up with the names of the hurricanes. So I think that they play a little bit of a role in that as well. But I think it's mainly from the National Hurricane Center and NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. I think it's mainly up to them.
Gotcha. Somebody says, I'm going to give summer a chance because it just started, but however, I am excited for winter because it may just be maybe be another warm winter, just like last year, very far out to talk about for sure.
Well, definitely a La Nina favors a warmer winter down here. It favors a warmer and drier winter. But if you recall, in 2022, we actually got a pretty good snow in January of 22, and that was a La Nina year. So, I mean, we can expect to see a warmer and drier winter, but like I said, weather changes. So it's not out of the question to see either some more precipitation and a milder winter, or we could see some snow. But, it's definitely something that we keep an eye on. But the pattern favors a warmer and drier winter.
Do y'all even get snow in South Carolina?
I'll tell you, I haven't seen snow since January 22. And before that, I don't think I saw accumulating snow maybe February of 2014 or 2015. So, I mean, there was a good 7 to 8 years between me seeing snow. So,
yeah, I think that's when we had our big snow apocalypse. Was it 2013, 14? Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
around
bad
that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, see, the mountains, the Appalachians, they actually block the cold air from getting here. So while we will get the moisture coming in, the air kind of gets blocked by the mountains. So we kind of stay on the milder side. So that's why we never really see snow. And whenever we do get the wintry precipitation, it's usually the sleet or the freezing rain, because, I mean, there's just not enough cold air getting into the area, because whenever you get sleet or freezing rain, you have a warm pocket aloft. So that melts through that pocket and then refreezes at the surface. I mean, it's just very hard to get enough cool air all throughout the atmosphere to get snow or wintry precipitation here. So kind of sucks because I love the snow and everything, but it's just the climate here.
I'm same with you. My favorite kind of weather is like the destructive weather. I don't like what it brings behind it, but that's my favorite. Give me a good thunderstorm day, and I'll be happy as a child on a sunny day, right?
Yeah, especially for me, it makes it fun because it gives me something to look at. Like for the past week, I've been kind of banging my head on my desk. Like, what do I look at? It's just hot and sunny. I mean, what am I supposed to talk about?
Right, exactly. And So hopefully here in a
it's
few.
so cool to watch what's going on. Like I've been watching that low out over the Atlantic because it had the possibility of developing, but I mean it's been so sheared out and there's been so much dry air that you really just couldn't get anything to develop.
So what makes a hurricane? If you can elaborate.
Number one thing that you need.
Described that earlier, but go ahead and say it again. I can't remember.
Yeah, so number one thing that you need is warm sea surface temperatures. That is the number one thing that you need. So temperatures at the surface of the ocean, at least 79 degrees, but anything 80 and above favors tropical development. You can't have a lot of shear because the storm has to flow in that circular motion. So if you have wind shear, which is winds changing with height, it kind of distorts the rotation of the storm. So that's kind of what we were seeing today. We had a well-defined center of circulation at the surface, but the thunderstorms in the upper levels of the atmosphere were kind of getting blown to the south because we had that wind shear pushing those storms down to the south. So that's one of the main reasons why this system did not develop, or it wasn't deemed a tropical system because of that. But you can't have a lot of shear. You have to have warm sea surface temperatures. You can't have a lot of dry air because it has to be moist all the way through the atmosphere. You can't have cold air in it because it also has to be warm all throughout the atmosphere. And another big thing is dust. So we have the main development region coming off the coast of Africa. There tends to be a lot of dust there, and that goes back to the dry air. The dust kind of sucks out the moisture from the storm. So you can't have the dust or the dry air within the storm because you won't get those storms to develop. So those are the main things that you need for a tropical cyclone to form. I mean, I won't say a hurricane because a hurricane is a hurricane, but you also have tropical storm and tropical depression, which typically lead up to a hurricane. But I mean, it's all the same. You need all of the same components to get that tropical development.
Gotcha. So what is the difference between weather and climate?
So weather is what's
hard questions.
Yeah, so weather is what you see and climate is what you expect. That's kind of a quote similar to what Mark Twain said, but basically weather is what's going on now and what you are going to expect to see here soon. So it's what is happening, while climate it's defined as an average of weather over the past 30 years. So climate now should be sampled from 2024 to 1994 because that's a 30-year period right there. But some people like to take it all the way back to 1850 and stuff like that. But, I won't even get into that. But technically, you're only supposed to go back the past 30 years to survey what trends have been going on and what to expect over the next several years.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time here. If anybody don't have any questions, we're going to go ahead and head on out. But I appreciate your time, Will. I always look forward to your weather updates, and hopefully maybe we can work out something where you can come on my page and give us a weather update here in Georgia like you was talking about. So I appreciate that.
Well, that's definitely something that we can work out. So just keep texting me and we'll work something out. But yeah, I appreciate you having me on, and I appreciate the interview and everything. It was a good time.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. All right. Well, I hope y'all have a wonderful night. It was a short interview, but I appreciate, again, the time, and I'll talk to you again later. Maybe we can come up again. Like if you have a breaking news with weather, I'll get you on here again. Maybe with a green screen and everything.
Yeah, that sounds fun. We can do that.
Awesome. Great. All right. Y'all have a great night now.